Monday, everybody, or Tuesday. I'm supposed to do this on Monday. Whoops. Alright, so I want to talk about the dual nature of us and humanity. More so the idea that not everybody is all bad and not everybody is all good. However, what percentage is what? What is somebody's intention? Is their intention good, or are they just acting good? I was talking to some people last night, and it seems to be very evident that, and we've all heard this, people can act nice to your face. They will, they will smooth satin away your, eases and cares, as long as they can get something out of you. And it just really depends on how much they want to get out of you that they will put up with. There's certain people that are very, very good at hiding their true motivations and their true feelings. And usually, a lot of times, they are very good at spotting a weakness in someone and exploiting that weakness. Now, we have several people out there in the world that are on the main stage doing such. But in your own life, you can always really seem to find those people because they always very much have this, kind of nature about them where it kind of seems like you always feel like you owe them. You're owing them for something. They're very like, I'm here and I'm for you, but I'm sort of drawing a little bit of debt from you. Like every time you're with them, you kind of have a certain amount of debt buildup. And at some point, it switches over to where no longer are you doing things, or they're doing things for you, but it's not equal anymore. It's not a situation where someone is giving you back the exact energy exchange. And it's very subtle, and it's very sneaky, but at some point, somebody they'll either drop off or start to release the friendship to kind of see how far you'll go to reach out for them, how far you go to keep them around. And it's an unfortunate aspect because they've kind of cultivated this attitude where you need them. They see this weakness that you need something, you need part of them, and so they can pull away and pull you towards them and get off of an even or equal balance. Now, some people will do it for motivations of they want power, they want attention. Some people will steal your ideas. Some people have motivations that are more clouded or muddy. They just want to have, like, I guess power and control is a very, very broad one, but they want to feel like they have a certain type of family aspect. They are the matriarch or patriarch of a family, and it's I think without being earned and without it going forth and being something that's actually beneficial, it's something that can be abused, because we kind of all as a society fall into a structure where we want to have somebody who knows somewhat more about something than us, that we can learn from them, and they're a role model in a certain way for our life forward, whether that be how we want to be as a man or a woman, whether or not how that is we want to be a business person, how we want to be a social being, how we want to be in a relationship, how we want to be as a musician, how we want to be as a, you know, a caretaker, a, you know, business professional, all of these things. And there's nothing wrong with being a mentor and having mentorship and a mentee relationship. But the point is, the nature of relationships with people have to be clean. They have to uh, not have this overlapping transcendence where one party gets more reliant on the other. That is where it becomes toxic. That is where one person is putting forth a lot of the energy in taking care of another person when it is not their duty to. Because as human beings, our personal responsibility is to take care of ourselves, is to grow ourselves. You cannot rely on another person to move you forward in your spiritual growth. And some people just refuse and stop growing spiritually. And that is when a lot of negativity and confusion actually can come in, where you kind of don't really know what you want to focus your purpose on. There's a lot of anger, I feel, that comes with this uncertainty of spiritual direction. And if you feel like you're lost and out of, you know, which a lot of us do, anger is probably one of the strongest emotions that gets triggered. Because, you know, it's confusion, it's fear, it's, you know, holding on to things that maybe are not necessarily things that we want to be, but they're the only type of stability that we have in our existence. And trying to, you know, it's a scary path forward. So if you don't have like a solid spiritual connection, then you kind of actually feel like disjointed. I know for me, I was feeling off the other day because, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm a spiritual medium, but I'm not by any means anything that, you know. But when you feel off, it's important to recognize that and question, okay, what variable is doing this in my life? Like, what do I need to adjust? What do I need to fix? What is out of balance? And how do I reconcile that? How do I make it so that I don't feel like I'm not connected fully to my higher understanding, my higher self? And a lot of that can manifest in anxiety and fear, even physical pain. I experience a lot of physical pain because of what I do, and it translates into the body. So it can be really difficult. So, you know, there's a lot of this, like, you know, the discussions about, you know, phantom pain and physical, you know, it's a psychological and energetic, you know, disorder where we're starting to feel like we are not connecting all of our, you know, energetic flow. And so when something is off, then we kind of feel like a piece is shifted out of place, which, like, traps energy in certain areas. So if you haven't been exercising enough, you will feel out of balance and out of place, and in a spiritual way that is kind of understated. You can't really put your, you know, you're like, I don't know, it's not like I was, you know, doing anything crazy or whatever different than my normal life. But when its energy is out of balance, it manifests in different spots, in mental disorders, in physical disorders, in emotional disorders. So it's very important to keep that alignment and really, like, put that practice into a daily, like, flow, because the only thing we really have is today and maybe tomorrow. So on a daily basis, taking care of that, and outside society, and hectic schedules will tell you that's not possible because you have to go and make money for somebody because they tell you you have to, afford to live in a place. It's a very convoluted disconnect to our physical, human, and spiritual bodies, which has always kind of plagued humanity because the air, the earth, the sunlight, it's all free. So I'm not really sure, of course it is, why they have made it a commodity, why they have made housing and food and, taken it out of like what we used to do, where we were farming for ourselves, we were creating communities and habitats where we were all joined together with a tribe, where we were all people who were, being self-sustaining and living more simple yet practical and spiritually sound lives. And I think a lot of that had to do with organized religion and the fact that they were very much pushing this dogma on us in the way of like, this is how you get to spiritual enlightenment. This is how you become this, supreme being in the the fear of hell is very, it's very scary because fear is a powerful motivator. It will motivate people to do whatever you want them to do, because if they feel like they don't have their safety net, they don't have their blanket, you can get somebody to do whatever the hell you want. And if you are not a person with a good moral compass and sound judgment, you will take that and you will abuse it and use it in a negative way. And most likely it's not you who is watching my channel, because people who watch my channel are probably more interested in becoming spiritually minded people and actually would take time to listen. Or if you're just listening because you're trying to find something from me to use against me or against somebody else, then yes, I'm talking about you, and for shame. And you will not get that from my channel, because the vibration is very high and it wouldn't attract somebody like that in the first place, because the frequencies of attraction actually work out. Like, a person who is in a high vibration finds so much discord and has to disconnect from a low vibrational energy that it's like you can't even watch the news because it's very low vibrational. It's all this negative information. It's pertinent sometimes, but it's very negative. And so it's very important, I think, to really figure out the best place to get information in your news so that you're not connecting into that low vibration. And if you're very low vibration, you're going to look at the high vibrational things and you're going to think that they're stupid or crazy or just delusional, which I'm sure people think that of me, but that's what they think, not me. So let's get to the cards, because I just wanted to put that out there. Of course. Oh, big themes. All right. What a week, man. And Mars is going direct, which I'll get to in a second. Okay, so I pulled the astrology cards. We have Mars right here, which is I love these cards so much. And we have Scorpio, which is very, very, I like this deck so much. It always, it's been pulling the same kind of cards, but that just means that's the focus that we need to, take advantage of. Mars is stationed this week, and it's starting to go direct in Scorpio, and that is its ancient ruler, which is all about power and brute force and taking control and going after what you really deep down want in the core of you. What do you want? None of this like bullshit, like other extremity, like, oh, I need to have this, it's nice and it's so beautiful, and that's very Taurian energy. It's all about fluffy pillows and stuff that that you take off your bed at night. Like, why would you have that? Scorpio is like, a bare mattress and a pillow, and maybe a blanket. Oh, one too many exes that had just that. Not comfortable for somebody with Taurus in their chart. They're like, I'm gonna need like 7 more pillows around here. Maybe some twinkle lights. I know you're watching. Right. So we got me all giggly tonight. So okay, so the beginning of the week we have the Queen of Wands reversed, the King of Wands reversed. So we have this double fire energy, and we've just transitioned into Cancer. We're in, Mars is a fire sign, or it's a fire planet. It's also ruled by Aries, but it's a very action-oriented planet. So it's not surprising that we're getting the fire signs. And, Scorpio is 12th house for Sagittarius, and Saturn is in Sagittarius. So it's a lot of this like very action-oriented energy coming forward and trying to pursue something that you think you want, but because Saturn is there and it's saying, okay, what is the dogma that we think that we want? What is the polar, the polarities that we are pulling? Because Sagittarius can be all about dogma. It can be all about, this organized control of religion versus the very freedom of philosophical and logical thought. Like, everybody is free and open to their own interpretation versus this is the only way. This is the only way to go. And it's really trying to get us to not be so restricted, not to be so cut off. Like this whole, Brexit thing happening, it's so very much a funny thing where they're just like, no, we want our own thing and we're going to just lead and buy. And it's not going to work out. It's definitely having this greater support network where there's all these different people in play. It's like not having this very singular-minded idea of like a social group, but like having people from all different walks of life influencing and allowing you to understand who you are through their eyes that may be completely different from your understanding of life. And that's how you gain this greater understanding of reality and not being so grouped together in this one, specific understanding. And it's funny because not only do we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, which is all about like this like almost the burden of having a this family or like this togetherness, and the Five of Cups, it's feeling like you don't have something, you're lacking something, even though you have this great support, this all the pentacles, that's the highest amount of pentacles you can have. So it's definite, and then we have the masculine and the feminine energy. So we have the receptive and the expressive energy, the yin and the yang of fire. So it's so powerful at the beginning of this week going forward, and really trying to look at what you have in your existence. What is giving you, feeding you well enough, and what isn't? What is feeding you bullshit and taking it away, and you think you're getting what you want, but you're really not, but they're getting what they want because they're able to siphon it out of you by just making you believe what you think you want. Like very much this, these ideas of like separatism is better, but you're cutting yourself off. And then for the overall theme of the week, we have the Two of Cups upright, the Hangman or the Lone Man upright, and the Two of Cups in reverse. It's all about interpersonal relationships and what is the give and take between the two. Like, what are you getting from people? And what is the deeper motivation behind what they're asking for, or what they're giving you, or what you think that they're giving you, but they're actually just bullshitting you into thinking that they're giving you something. Yes, confusing, I know. You know, you think you're getting something because you've won this or you're doing it, but you're actually not truly getting what you think you are, and you're going to end up feeling that void. It's like dating somebody for their car and then realizing they have a terrible personality and you don't really want to be around them anyways. So, I mean, that's just an example, but I mean, there's the political aspect, there's a social aspect, there's an interpersonal aspect, and that's why it's really important to respect all the relationships in your life and see what you're learning, and then you can walk away. And I think that's so important to know that not everybody in our life is going to be there forever. It's not like you meet somebody and you have them and you're like, well, you don't even have them, they're there and you have this, connection. And then sometimes it doesn't work because they were there for this, short period of time to teach you, well, okay, I don't really like that because I'm not really getting this out of it. And even though they're saying that, I don't really see the fruits of that. Like, what am I getting exactly, like, tangible in my hand? Am I like, is it just like, this fantasy that's in my head, and that's all and I'm sustaining off this fantasy, and then all of a sudden it's going to come crashing down when I actually really need something. So, and it's funny, he's crashing down because, next card is the Tower. So, things are going to really start to fall apart, that weren't stable to begin with. Stuff that we thought we knew for certain, but then the small part of our brain kind of thought, well, I don't know, there's this one part that I'm really concerned about, but I'm going to ignore it because we like to ignore stuff we don't really want to deal with. It's a very tricky part of denial, and that's the thing where when you start to deny something, you have to focus on why you're denying it. Why do you have denial? Is it something you don't want to look at? Is it something you want to ignore and forget? Stack the bills. We all want to deny those. Nobody wants to pay bills, but it's better to pay them right away, and then you don't have the stress sitting on your shoulders saying, oh my god, I have all these bills to pay, and then you spend all your money, and then you're like, I can't pay my bills. That's somebody who maybe isn't so great with money, which I used to be, so, you can understand this, like, it's more stressful to deny something and then have it explode in your face. We also have the Five of Swords upright, so we are going to have some kind of conflicts going on. There is going to be some words exchanged, and it is something that has been kind of simmering, I would say, on the back burner. There's definitely something that is, and especially now that Mars is direct, this is a total Mars direct card. It's all about, the fight. It's all about exchanging of words. And the fact that the retrograde, there may have been something going on during the retrograde that hadn't been able to give, breakaway to a discussion or discourse. And this doesn't always have to be a verbal fight, but I mean, it's definitely a disagreement. There is two sides that are not agreeing, and they need to have a discussion, and sometimes that discussion can get heated, especially with Mars in Scorpio. But hopefully the Scorpionic energy will cut right through the bullshit, right through those bullshit pillows, and straight to that bare mattress. We're going to get bare mattress all this month. And so we have something to do with an energy of beginning, a monetary value or a job, some kind of, and it's a younger person, but it can represent an energy of young business person or young, a job that you haven't had very long, and it's very much going to be something that is going to it's going to come up, and it has been simmering on the back burner. And this can also be somebody who is maybe more of a confused, younger, business person, maybe they've been phoning in to work, and somebody is going to, have to talk to them about their attendance, or talk to them about their, direction, their, money, bills are due. People are calling in for bills. It's all very practical things, or it could even be an earth sign. So, at the end of the week, we have the Ace of Pentacles with the Ten of Cups reversed, which is an interesting card. It's all about, I would say, something new, like maybe a job offering, a new loan, or new, something with money, but it's like, it's coming off better than it is. It's like there's problems, or there's something that is going to be, shifting or changing, but they're trying to paint it, or trying to put it as if it's not as great, it's not as bad, or it's just greater than it is. And so it's interesting that those two have come up together, because it seems like something new comes up, but it's not as what it seems. So then we have Strength, which is all about taming this inner beast within us that is maybe like wanting to fight, maybe wanting to have this altercation. And we have the Three of Swords reversed. So maybe we are not supposed to point out that all that glitters is not gold, because, at the beginning of, a new venture, things are not always going to be, perfect. And it's important to see where the growth potential could be. A lot of times, when we're pitched something that's much better, it seems much better than it is, we don't want to acknowledge that denial part. And maybe what we have to do is not like try to argue, or try to negotiate something with this person, or this situation, but it's more so we're just supposed to walk away. And I think that if we walk away, we're going to save ourselves a lot of heartache. I think that there's a situation that is just not going to be conducive of trying to win, of trying to solve something. And it's going to be much better just to walk away. So it does seem like this is a lot of interpersonal things. It's a lot of an interaction with another person, somebody that you've had some kind of connection with, something that you have had that is very substantial to you, but it might just be something that you had to learn, or something that you had to experience because it gave you an idea of what you didn't really want, or it gave you an idea of what you kind of wanted, but wasn't really fulfilling everything that you needed. So you now have a better understanding of what you really want. And that's the most important thing, because nothing is ever a waste. We never waste our time. You always gain something. And I know it sounds really trite to say that, but if you find yourself not wanting to walk away from something because you're afraid that you are going to lose everything that you've built, that's not possible, because everything that you have gained from the experience will allow you to move forward. And even if it has to be on a completely different path, you have the understanding now. You can make better choices, and you can get what you want in the future without feeling like you don't really know anything. You're not a novice anymore. You have gone through all of this and had an understanding. It's like school, you don't, maybe when you graduate, you don't have this structure of classes and stuff anymore, and you have to go to work, but you have everything you've learned and everything you've gone through with that, and you can now use it towards a position that will help bring you, a purpose, an understanding of yourself in the world. Alright, we're getting close to this, so I'm going to try to breeze through some of the other things really quickly. So we have, for the Oracle card, we have a hidden gift, which is really, really pertinent. I think it's sadness, an ending, and a new beginning. And yes, there's a man on this card, so, it's possible it's a relationship that you're losing. But it's also just reminding us that, there's always something that will come in. It's never all is lost. The angel featured on this card reflects the sadness that you feel at the present, or may experience sometime in the coming weeks. Something you cherished has or may has come to an end soon. It is a human nature to fear change and be saddened when something we love or emotionally attached to ends. However, this card has a positive side and reminds that every ending heralds a new beginning. This is simply a law of nature. Nothing is ever truly lost. Things simply transform. New beginnings are in store for you, brighter and lighter than ever. There is a hidden gift attached to this event. When the timing is right, you will receive a precious gift, either in the form of positive news or a new revelation or an unexpected turn of events that turns out to be in your favor. Whatever it turns out to be, it will, without a doubt, warm your heart and fill you with joy. In the meantime, be aware of the love that surrounds you. Allow it into your heart and trust. The universe is guiding events to unfold in a way that is for your highest good. Alright. So for the love, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse as the overall energy, which means that things may be not moving forward at the time, or it may just not, you just may not feel like the amount of energy towards your love life is actually there, and you're more focused on trying to be having working on your career or working on your home or putting your energy in a different area of your life. Maybe you really have wanted a relationship, but it just isn't the right time. We have the Strength card upright, the Seven of Wands upright, and the Judgment card. So I think that we are going to be finding a good conclusion, and it seems as if you're going to come towards it from a place of strength, and you're going to make a decision that is going to really empower you to feel like you know what you want and what you're doing. I mean, maybe this is, with a love relationship, maybe you're breaking up with somebody, but you've decided that you don't want that kind of behavior in your life anymore, and that's a very powerful statement to make, because we don't always have to accept what we're given. Just because somebody wants to give energy to us doesn't mean we have to take that energy and use it and do something with it. We can say thank you, but no thanks, because right now I want to do something else. Right now I want to focus on my career. I want to focus on my my wealth, or I want to work towards a goal, a personal goal of my own, and I don't have time for nurturing this love relationship that's going to take a lot of work. I don't have time for that. And I think you're going to make that definitive statement, and you're going to stand up and in front of people or in front of another person and make that statement. And you're going to have all this a determination to do so, because you know in your heart that not everything, just because it's presented to you, means that it's right for you. So, alright, with that, I think we've got everything, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Be strong, and you have the strength to persevere anything that comes your way. And there will be more blessings in the future.